The Indian Sports Network is on the air. Good evening, everybody. This is Kenny Masterson coming to you live from Elsberry High School, where tonight we are going to see the Elsberry Lady Indians. They're going to be taking on the North Calloway Lady Thunderbirds. I don't believe these two teams have met yet this year. Tomorrow night, the boys will be playing, and it'll be a rematch from last week in the Bowling Green tournament, but this isn't tomorrow night, this is tonight. So, we are about 6.5 minutes away from game time. So let me just go through the roster here real quick. And for the visiting North Calloway Lady Thunderbirds, we have number 2, Haley Kimbley. Number 3, Heather Thurman. Number 11, Rael Schumach. Number 12, Kenzie Osful. Number 13, McKenna Allen. Number 14, Leah Morrison. Number 21, Olivia Isaacs. Number 23, Jillian Bryant. Number 30, Michaela Pennell. Pennell or Pennell, one of the two. Number 32, Trinity Brush. The Lady Thunderbirds this year are 8-11 in overall play and 3-2 in conference play, and they are coached by Morgan Beamer. And now for your hometown Lady Indians. On the roster tonight is number 2, Tanisha Henderson, affectionately known as Tiny. Number 4, Peyton Robinson. Let's see, go back here. Number 2, Tanisha Henderson, she is a sophomore. Number 4, freshman, Peyton Robinson. Number 5, junior, Sophia Vaughn. Number 10, senior Claire Henry. Number 11, freshman Ariel Rios. Number 12, sophomore Kylie Kinsler. I think I've been calling her a freshman all this year because that's what I had, but turns out she is a sophomore. And number 14, freshman Abby Jenkins. Number 15, senior Josie Horn. Number 20, freshman Kelsey Flaster. Number 24, senior Tess Weekly. Number 25, senior Megan Hegemeyer. Number 31, senior Kaija Clark. Number 32, sophomore Emma Flaster. Number 41. Number 41, sophomore Adrian Ryan. Number 43, sophomore Tyra Henderson. The Lady Indians are coached by Carrie Koch-Dow, assisted by Brittany Koch-Dow, and managers is Douglas Horn and Mackenzie Pruitt. So, we have about 4 minutes remaining till this game starts. Again, the Lady Indians have had a pretty successful season. I think their record's something like 12 wins and 7 losses. I think maybe 13 wins. I need to find out. I didn't write it down before this game, and unfortunately my memory doesn't let me remember things. But also wanted to remind everybody that senior night, February 14th against Silex, it's going to be the boys varsity and the girls varsity both that night. And I'm going to interview every one of the seniors that night, the senior players from both teams. I'm also going to interview, there's a senior manager. I'm going to interview her, and I think there's one senior cheerleader, and I'm going to interview her. So I'll be starting pretty early before the girls' game, so you might want to tune in extra early. I'll be starting probably at least a half an hour before the girls' game starts that night. It starts at 5:30. I'll be starting in at probably 4:45 to 5 o'clock, something like that. And got a few questions for them, and just take a chance to get to know them and let them tell you about their experiences here at Elsberry High School during their career as sports players, because several of them have played more than one sport. So about 2 minutes remaining till this game starts. Let's go ahead and get a commercial in here. And guess what? I've got a new commercial thing. Only turns out that wasn't the problem. It's the cord. And so I'm still having the problem. But let's just see what I can do here and try to make this thing work.
Here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our lives. We all know that. But when it comes to your money, wouldn't you just as soon deal with real people rather than recordings and electronics fingerprinting of the mega banks? We put technology to work so we can have more time for you. We're your community bank. People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, we are back, and we're going to do the starting lineups now. And, well, let's see, not only the starting lineups, and at this point in time, let's do the national anthem. I don't know if you were able to hear that or not, but good job by the Elsberry High School Band for their rendition of the national anthem. Okay, here is the starting lineup for the visiting North Calloway Thunderbirds. Number 3, Heather Thurman. Number 12, Kenzie Asphalt. Number 14, Leah Morrison. Number 21, Olivia Isaacs. And number 30, Michaela Pennell. And now the starting lineup for your hometown Elsberry Lady Indians. Number 10, Claire Henry. Number 12, Kylie Kinsler. Number 15, Josie Horn. Number 24, Tess Weekly. And number 25, Megan Hagemeyer. There's the starting lineups for the two teams. As the starters for North Calloway are out there and the entire team for Elsberry is out there. For crying out loud. Okay. This game started with Elsberry in possession. The screen is freezing up on me. What is going on? You've got to be kidding me. What is going on here? I've got plenty of signal. I am not sure what's going on, but the screen keeps freezing up. All right. We've played almost a minute. I didn't know you haven't gotten to see anything. We've played almost a minute. And as of right now, there is no score. And Tess Weekly brings the ball up, puts it up, no good. Megan Hegemeyer in with the rebound and couldn't get the ball to drop for herself. Well, screen seems to be working better now. Hegemeyer on the line and missed her first free throw. Once again, 6:47 remaining in the first quarter, and there is no score. Second shot is good. 1-0 Elsberry. Okay, North Calloway drives right in, and that ball is knocked away by Megan Hegemeyer, but the North Calloway did come up with the ball, and looks to me like they're playing tackle football out there. And through all of that, North Calloway traveled, so Elsberry gets the ball back. Josie Horn drives in and has the ball knocked out of her hands. But she was driving the baseline. Tess Weekly's going to throw the ball in. She gets it into Hegemeyer, gets it over to Horn. Back to Tess Weekly, who's down on the baseline. Now she brings it out to the point. Claire Henry had it. Gets it to Josie Horn, and they're trying to get it in to Tess Weekly. I thought Tess was going to take a shot there from three-point land, and she decided not to. And there was a shot by Claire Henry, did not drop, and North Calloway up with the rebound. And a timeout called by North Calloway.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Missouri. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents.
Okay. Ball is going to be out of bounds for North Calloway. They get the ball into Michaela Pennell. She dribbles around. And the ball was dribbled off the foot. That was Olivia Isaacs right down on the line, and her foot touched the line. She's out of bounds, so the ball goes over to Elsberry. Tess Weekly bringing it up the court. There's a three-pointer by Josie Horn, and it's off. But Kylie Kinsler's up with the rebound, and now it's getting tossed around. Megan Hegemeyer comes up with it. Another shot by Claire Henry, no good. And we have a foul called. That foul was on Kenzie Asfel for North Calloway. Kylie Kinsler takes it out of bounds, gets it into Tess Weekly. There's a three-point shot. Three-point shot. Shot by Tess Weekly, no good. Megan Hegemeyer right underneath and couldn't get it to drop. Score is still 1-0 Elsberry. There's a three-point shot, no good, and Claire Henry up with that rebound. There's Tess Weekly up, and it's in. 3-0 Elsberry. Elsberry putting a press on now. Not able to trap him. Right underneath. That was Olivia Isaacs for 2 points. Weekly looked at driving in, decided wasn't anything there. There's Kinsler for 2 points, no good. Rebounded by Michaela Pennell. There was a fast break for North Calloway, and Leah Morrison could not get it to drop. And there's 2 more points for Tess Weekly. Score is 5-2. 2:54 remaining in this first quarter. North Calloway keeping it out on the perimeter, pushing it around. And Kylie Kinsler tried her best to steal that ball, but she jumped into the player and was called for the foul. And here is Kaija Clark and Tanisha Henderson and Tyra Henderson coming into the game. They're replacing Kinsler, Horn, and Claire Henry. North Calloway on the perimeter trying to set something up. She drives in, and I believe they're going to, I thought they were going to call her for traveling, but they called a foul on, who was it? They called a foul on Megan Hegemeyer. That's her first of the game. Three-point attempt, no good, and Hegemeyer up with that rebound. Long cross-court pass to Tiny Henderson, and she's in for 2 points. Long two-point shot. 7-2. North Calloway brings it up slow. No pressure by Elsberry right now. And there was an attempted steal by Kaija Clark, and she gets called for the foul. Three team fouls on both teams. Ball was almost stolen by Megan Hegemeyer. She couldn't hang on to it, and it was recovered by North Calloway, and they're going to have the ball out of bounds. Now Claire Henry's coming in for Hegemeyer. Tess Weekly broke up that pass. So now with Kenzie Oswald on the outside trying to set something up, get it over to Olivia Isaacs. Back out to Kenzie. That ball was stolen by Kija Clark. Being brought up by, and there's a three-pointer from Tess Weekly. And North Calloway calls a timeout.
Know that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, we are back. North Calloway be taking the ball out of bounds for the, have to go to the full length of the court. 48 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Here's Kenzie Asphalt with the ball. She's just going to drive it right in, and she ends up dribbling it off of somebody's foot, but it must have been Elsberry because they're calling it out of bounds to North Calloway. All right, she's trying to get it in, and there's a three-point attempt for Kenzie Asphalt. No good, and they're going to get, they're going to get Claire Henry for traveling. She caught the ball and didn't put it on the floor before she went up. Ten seconds remaining. Ball really being fought for here. And there was a shot by Kija Clark right at the end. Didn't drop in, and they didn't call the foul. So, with the end of one quarter of basketball, we have the score: the Elsberry Lady Indians 10 and the North Calloway Lady Thunderbirds 2. Let's take a break.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Okay, we are back. North Calloway gets the ball on the alternating possessions. They get the ball to start this second quarter. They have North Calloway trapped pretty good, but she was able to get out of it. Here is a long two-pointer. No good, but North Calloway came up with that rebound. Now, finally, Elsberry got the rebound, and here's Tess Weekly bringing it up. Gets it over to Kija Clark, and she takes it in for 2 points. Very aggressive move there. Nice move by Kija Clark. North Calloway, and there's another steal by Tiny Henderson. She was going to take it in, but saw there was a little bit too much there, so she just brings it right back out. And, oh, there's a shot right underneath for Tyra Henderson. And it rolled around the rim and did not go in. Here's a 15-foot shot for North Calloway, and that was rebounded by Michaela Pennell. She puts it up and draws a foul. No, the shot was not good, but she does draw the foul. That's Michaela Pennell on the line. I think that's who it is. Is that 30 or 32? First shot is no good. Okay, yeah, that's 30. That's Michaela Pennell. Second shot coming up. Second shot is good. Makes it 12-3. And here's Tiny Henderson bringing it up. Weekly looked at a three-pointer, but instead got it into Megan Hegemeyer, and she puts it up for 2 points from right under the basket. There's Pennell for a three-pointer, not quite there. And that was rebounded. That was rebounded by Olivia Isaacs. She draws a foul on her shot. Shot was no good, but she does draw the foul, so puts her to the line with 2 shots. First shot is up and no good. Little bit long. Second shot is up and bounces out. And in the attempt to the rebound, that was off of North Calloway. Elsberry's ball. Tiny Henderson bringing it up. There's Weekly for 3, and she hits it. 3 more points. 17-3. Long cross-court pass. There's a 15-footer. No good. North Calloway did get the rebound, and long pass up for Tiny Henderson, and she couldn't get it to drop. Megan Hegemeyer up, no good. Kinsler up with the rebound. And they got a jump ball called there. So on the alternating possessions, it's going to stay with Elsberry. Hard to believe that they can miss those shots from right underneath. There's another three-point attempt. No good. That was Tess Weekly. Didn't get that one. North Calloway tried to dribble in. Couldn't get along the baseline. So now they have it back out at the point. Try to set something up from out there. Long cross-court pass. Now they get it into the paint. And Megan Hegemeyer with the blocked shot. Okay, it's North Calloway's ball to throw in from right under their basket. They get the ball in to Asphalt, and she gets the ball up and no good. And Tess Weekly with the rebound, and she's bringing it up fast. It's back out to Josie Horn, back over to Weekly, and then out on the point to Tiny Henderson. Tess Weekly gets it in deep to Megan Hegemeyer, and she goes up and draws the foul. So we're going to have Megan Hegemeyer at the line for 2 shots. First shot is up and off the front of the rim. Not enough oomph on that one. Second shot rolls in. It took a few minutes, but it finally went in. As North Calloway brings it up the court. Kinsey Asphalt bringing it up. Again, a cross-court pass. Another pass that was almost too high. If Tiny Henderson would have been a little bit closer, I think she could have gotten into that one. And that ball dribbled off the foot, and Tess Weekly has it, gets it, tries to get it up to Kylie Kinsler, and it goes through her hands, and turnover to North Calloway. 3:46 remaining in this first half. Here's Asphalt again, bringing it up. And that ball stolen by Tyra Henderson. Weekly brings it up and passes it off to Tiny Henderson to set it up. Now here's Kylie Kinsler getting it back over to Tess Weekly, who's been running the baseline. And Kylie Kinsler just forced her way in there for that rebound. So they are back at the point again. There's a three-point attempt for Tess Weekly, and Olivia Isaacs got that rebound. Gets it over to Asphalt, and she's trying to get it in deep, and there was Weekly. There's a two-pointer, no good. Tiny Henderson up with that rebound. Ball knocked out of bounds by Kinsey Asphalt. Weekly's coming out, and it's like Josie Horn coming in. There's a three-pointer for Tyra Henderson. Oh, rims in and out. And North Calloway up with that rebound. .206 left in this first half. There's a two-point shot, no good. Rebound by Tiny Henderson. And she brings it up the floor. There's Tyra Henderson going to drive it in. She gets it down deep to Josie Horn. She tries to drive a couple of feet in and ends up drawing the foul. So Josie Horn on the line with two shots. First shot is up and a little bit strong, no good. Second shot is up and it's no good. North Calloway with that rebound. Minute and a half left in the first half. And an offensive foul called on Kinsey Asphalt. I thought they were going to get her for traveling, but instead they got her for an offensive foul. That's her second of the game. Less than a minute and a half remaining. There was Tyra Henderson with about a 20-footer. Score is 20-3. North Calloway gets the ball down deep and could not get the ball to go in. That was Heather Thurman right underneath and couldn't get it to drop. And it's like, I think these Elsberry girls sometimes can relate to that. Long pass to Tiny Henderson. Her three-pointer was no good, but Kylie Kinsler came up with that rebound. Now here's Tyra Henderson for three. No good. And in fighting for the rebound, it goes out of bounds and goes out off of North Calloway. So Elsberry's going to be throwing it in. 37.6 seconds remaining in the half. And here's Josie Horn coming out and Ariel Rios going in. And that ball stolen by Heather Thurman. Here's a three-point attempt for North Calloway. No good. Rebound. And North Calloway came up with it. I'm sorry, Elsberry came up with it. And the screen is freezing up again. I know it's cold outside, but it's warm in here. So I don't know why the screen is freezing. Three-point attempt by Tiny Henderson. No good. And right at the buzzer, Tyra Henderson tries to get the ball in, and it's no good. But one half of the game has been played already, and the score is right now is Elsberry 20 and North Calloway 3. Not exactly an offensive powerhouse here, but we'll see what a lot of times the second half of a game is a little more open, so we'll see what happens there. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a break. And get a couple of commercials in here and pay some bills.
Ever wonder where your hard-earned money goes when you deposit it? It stays here, at home, to help make living here what we've all come to expect. We've got everything the mega banks do, but we've made a commitment to our community. So when you're looking for the right bank, see People's Bank and Trust, Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Missouri's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker at our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about. We all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust, Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
People's Bank and Trust knows that every minute of your day counts, so it's good to have a few time savers on your side. Take internet banking for example. It allows you to bank from home rather than having to make an extra trip to the bank just to check your balance, transfer funds, or view recent transactions. You can even pay your bills online, eliminating a trip to the post office for stamps. Best of all, People's Bank and Trust offers all of this free of charge. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net and sign up today. Just another example of hometown banking the way it should be. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you have answered yes to any of those questions, you are showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscientious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Hey, hon, what are you doing up so early?
Oh, I'm just getting ready to take care of some stuff with the bank.
The bank? I surely hope you're going to get dressed first. You'd get some pretty weird luck showing up in your robe and fuzzy slippers.
I'm not going to the bank. I'm doing it all right here from home using People's Bank and Trust online banking and bill pay service. I can check our account balances, transfer money, make a loan payment, and even pay bills, all from the comfort of my pajamas. Best of all, it's free.
Banking in your pajamas. Now, if we could only get the grocery store to deliver.
Start banking online today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station. Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
People's Bank and Trust invites everyone to come to the game, the high school sports games that are going on right now. All area teams have put a great amount of effort and time in to perfect their skills, and they are ready to play. Support the community schools and students by cheering them on to a great season of games. People's Bank and Trust proudly supports the area teams and looks forward to seeing you at each and every game.
Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls, or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we could teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker at our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about. We all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker. At our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about, we all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our lives. We all know that. When it comes to your money, here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our Here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our lives. We all know that, but when it comes to your money, wouldn't you just as soon deal with real people rather than recordings and electronics fingerprinting of the mega banks? We put technology to work so we can have more time for you. We're your community bank. People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Missouri. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. The stage presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Okay, we are back to start this second half of this game. 20-13, Elsberry over North Calloway. I'm trying to figure out why they gave the ball to Elsberry, because it was showing, unless they already switched it over. I was going to say it was already showing for North Calloway. Anyway, to get the ball in deep to Hagemeyer, and she's got 2 points. 22-3. And that was Kenzie Aspel tried to drive the baseline in. She was blocked by Megan Hagemeyer, and it went out of bounds off of Elsberry. Hagemeyer was kind of holding her wrist a little bit then. There is a three-point shot, and it's good. That was Rael Schumacher. Makes the score 22-6. Josie Horn gets it over to Megan Hagemeyer and then back out on the point to Tess Weekly. There's a 15-footer. Does not bounce in for Weekly. There's Asphalt, takes it in, runs into Hagemeyer, and her shot was no good. That shot was rebounded by Claire Henry. Gets it into Henry, she puts it up, and no good. And that ball was blocked, and here's Tess Weekly coming up the court with it. Looks like we're just going to go play back and forth and nobody get any points. There was a three-pointer by Josie Horn that was no good. Megan Hagemeyer put it up and no good. Rebounded by North Calloway. There's a three-pointer, no good. Ball was rebounded by Michaela Pennell. And the ball's going to go out of bounds to North Calloway. That foul was on Tess Weekly. It's her first. And in that fight for the basketball, Tyra Henderson came up with it, and now Tess Weekly's bringing it up. There's a three-pointer by Tiny Henderson, no good. Heather Thurman bring it up, and Kaija Clark and Tiny Henderson giving her everything she can handle. Three-point attempt there, no good. And there was Kaija Clark driving the line, gets the 2 points from the baseline. 24-6. Kenzie Aspel out on the point. Gets it over to Rael Schumacher, and she is fouled by Kaija Clark. That's her third foul of this game. She's been playing very aggressive tonight. There's a three-point attempt, no good. Rebound by North Calloway. They're called it a three. Actually, her toe was on the line, but in the meantime, Weekly gets it into Megan Hagemeyer, and that draw ball drops in, and she draws a foul. That foul was on Leah Morrison. That's her second. So Megan Hagemeyer at the line with one shot. And it's short, no good. But Tyra Henderson came up with that rebound and had the ball pulled right out of her hand. There's a two-point shot, no good. Hagemeyer got that rebound, gets it over to Weekly for her to bring up the court. There's a three-point attempt by Kaija Clark, no good. Back out on the point to Tess Weekly. Get it in deep to Tyra. And there's Kaiser Clark with a three-point attempt, no good, and Megan Hagemeyer jumped right in there for the rebound. And I guess both girls lived through that. Meanwhile, well, they called a foul on Hagemeyer. That's her third foul of the game. Clara Henry getting ready to come back in. So is Kinsler. And that ball taken right away by Tiny Henderson. And she dribbles around, gets it to Hagemeyer. Back out to Kaiser Clark. Cross the court over to Tess Weekly, and she puts it in for three. That's about her third or fourth three-pointer in this game. They almost had her trapped. There's a three-point attempt, no good, and Kaiser Clark up with that rebound, gets it to Tiny, and she's in for 2 points. So we have Ryle Schumach out. They get it in deep, and North Calloway cannot get that ball to drop. And there is foul number 4 on Megan Hagemeyer. So she's coming out of the game, along with Tyra Henderson and Claire Henry, and who was it came in? Kylie Kinsler came in. Three-point attempt, and it's good. That was Ryle Schumach with that three-pointer. I was just corrected on the pronunciation of that name. It's Schmuck. And that ball is off of North Calloway and goes with Elsberry. Here's Josie Horn coming in and Kaiser Clark coming out. Cross-court pass to Tiny. Now she gets it in, had a little bit of pressure on her. Tess Weekly looking at a three-pointer, changed her mind, decides to get the ball in deep to Josie Horn, and she couldn't get it. That shot was partially blocked. And North Calloway passing it back and forth. They finally get it into the paint, gets the ball up, and it rolls in and out. And here's Weekly coming up the court with it. She gets it up there and slows it up, gets it to Tiny Henderson. And they just pass the ball around. There's a 15-footer for Tyra. I'm sorry, Tanisha. And here comes Schmuck up the court with it. They get it over. Here's three-point attempt. No good for North Calloway. And at the end of 3/4 of this basketball game, the score is Elsberry 31, North Calloway 12. Let's take a break.
Ever wonder where your hard-earned money goes when you deposit it? It stays here, at home, to help make living here what we've all come to expect. We've got everything the mega banks do, but we've made a commitment to our community. So when you're looking for the right bank, see People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, we are back. Let's start the fourth quarter of this game. We have 8 minutes of regulation left. And going out of the court is Tess Weekly, Kylie Kinsler, Tiny Henderson, Josie Horn, and Claire Henry. And it's going to be Elsberry's ball again to throw in. There's a three-point attempt for Tess Weekly, no good. And there was Kinsler with 2 points. She was standing right there. The ball fell in her hand, and she puts it right up for 2. North Calloway gets the ball in deep, drives the baseline, and draws a foul, but cannot get the shot to drop. That foul is on Claire Henry. That is how many for her? Oh, that's only her first foul. She's been playing very clean tonight. That puts Olivia Isaacs on the line. First shot rolls in. 33-13. Second shot bounces off the front of the rim, and Henry with the rebound gets it to Weeks. She gets it over to Tiny Henderson. And she comes across the timeline. Kinsler gets it in deep to Weekly. And they are living dangerously on some of these passes. And now coming in is Kaija Clark and Tyra Henderson. So Kylie Kinsler is going to be putting the ball inbounds for Elsberry. Gets the ball in deep to Tyra Henderson, and not there. There's a long three-point shot. That was by Rael Schmock. Ball goes out of bounds to Elsberry. Whoa. Tiny Henderson goes up for the layup, and that ball was smashed away from her. But Elsberry does maintain possession. I don't know if she stepped on the line or exactly what that call was, but either way, it was a turnover to North Calloway. Ball almost stolen by Kaija Clark. But the ball does come to Elsberry on a turnover. Kinsler gets it in to Tiny Henderson. 6:06 remaining in this regulation of this game. Ball in deep to Tyra Henderson. Couldn't get the shot to go in, but she does draw the foul. So, Tyra Henderson on the line with 2 shots. First shot is good. 34-13. And now here's Claire Hinder coming out and Megan Hagemeyer coming in with 4 fouls. Second shot bounces out, but Hagemeyer with that rebound. Gets the ball in the deep, and over to Megan Hagemeyer. 2 more points from right underneath. That was a good pass there by Tyra Henderson. And that was Kenzie Aspel there, mishandling the ball, goes out of bounds, turnover to Elsberry. Now Trinity Broish is coming in for North Calloway, and Haley Kimbley. Those 2 are coming in for North Calloway. Weekly brings it up the court. There's a, thought it was going to be a 3-pointer for Kaiser Clark, and not there, and ball goes out of bounds over to North Calloway. Cross-court pass to North Calloway. That was over to Michaela Pennell. And there's a shot, no good. Rebounded by Tyra Henderson. Gets it to Tess Weekly. She brings it up the court. Stops out on the point. Pulls up her dribble, gets it to Kinsler. They get the ball in deep to Tyra Henderson. She puts the ball up, but it was partially blocked. There's a 2-point shot, no good. And here's Weekly bringing it back up. Gets the ball right underneath to Kylie Kinsler, and it's in. She was all alone up there. And that ball is stolen by Kinsler. Facilitated, though, by Tyra Henderson. She's the one that broke it up. The ball in deep to Megan Hagemeyer, and there was Kinsler again with, couldn't get it to roll in. There was a 2-point shot. Way too long of a pass there. Turnover to North Calloway. And there's Ariel Rios coming in for Megan Hagemeyer. Now we have Kelsey Flaster coming in. And we have Tiny Henderson coming in. Coming out is Kaiser Clark and Tess Weekly. 3:42 remaining in this game. They had the ball in deep, send it back out again. North Calloway with the rebound, and there was Rael Schmock with the 2 points from about 10 feet out. Kelsey Flaster with the ball on the outside. Kylie Kinsler running around. And there is a jump ball on alternating possessions, goes over to North Calloway. 3:06 remaining. 38-15. There's another shot up, and not there. See what this is called. That foul was on McKenna Allen. And Kinsler's coming out, and Sophia Vaughn is going in. So Sophia Vaughn and Tiny Henderson and Abby Jenkins playing pitch and catch with it. And North Calloway comes up with that ball. And there's a three-pointer. Michaela Pennell. 38-18. Elsberry was a few of their younger players in. Ball partially blocked, or the shot. That was Tiny Henderson trying to shoot from about 15 feet out. Ball does stay with Elsberry, though. They get the ball in. Here's Tiny Henderson driving, takes a shot from 15 feet out. No good. North Calloway with the rebound. They're bringing it up the court. There's a three-pointer, no good, and rebounded by Tyra Henderson. Gets it over her sister, Tiny. Adrian Ryan getting ready to come in. Whoa, that's right off the face of Sophia Vaughn. See who they call this foul on. That was a foul on Tiny Henderson. That was her first of the game. Here's a three-point attempt, no good. And here's Tiny Henderson up with the rebound. She brings it down and slows it up. Gets it over to Tyra for three, and it's good. 41-18, less than 1 minute to go in this game. Three-point attempt. No good, and Tyra Henderson comes up with that rebound. Gets it over to Tiny. .30 seconds remaining. There's a long two-point shot, no good. North Calloway gets that rebound. And apparently a foul was called. Yes, it was. A foul was called on Tyra Henderson. And that puts North Calloway at the line for a 1-and-1. That's a seventh team foul on Elsberry. So going to the line to shoot the free throws is Michaela Pennell. Her first shot is up, and it's good. 41-19. Gets ready for her second shot, lines it up. Second shot, no good, and there was Ariel Rios with the rebound. Under 20 seconds to go. Ball stolen and travel. She tried to hold up and couldn't stop her feet. She just slid. 4.6 seconds remaining in this game. Tyra Henderson throws it into Abby Jenkins. And as time runs out, that is the end of this ball game. Final score, 41-19 in favor of your hometown Elsberry Lady Indians. So, good game by your Indians, and just another victory chalked up for them. And now the band's playing some celebratory songs. And what I love to see more than anything is the two teams congratulating each other for a well-fought game. And so that ends this game. I will be back tomorrow night as the Indian boys take on this same school, the North Calloway Thunderbirds. They will be here tomorrow night for a 7 o'clock game. The JV game will be at 5:30. I won't be broadcasting it, but I will be broadcasting the varsity game. And one thing I want to mention is Garrick Hill is getting real close to his 1,000 points for the season. He has 24 more points to go, so it is very possible he could get those 24 points tomorrow night. So if you can't be here at the game in person, which is what I recommend, being here in person, then watch this broadcast. And maybe you will see Garrick Hill get his 1,000 points for his high school career. That is quite an accomplishment. We had Tess Weekly earlier this year get her 1,000 points. Now if we can get Garrick in there also, then pretty good to get at least 2 players in the same year to get their 1,000 points. But that's tomorrow night. So anyway, tune in tomorrow night at probably about 6:45. And I will be on the air, and I will bring you the varsity boys game between your Elsberry Indians and the North County Thunderbirds. Until tomorrow night, this is Kenny Masterson saying good night for the Indian Sports Network, brought to you by the Elsberry Democrat. Good night, everybody.